Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Fans, Man. I am Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze. And I have with me, he's back, Eric, will you marry me, McCabe?
Whoa. He's already engaged to somebody else.
We'll get that taken care of. And Robert, wide open McCall. Wait, what?
That's not good.
Kansas City, wide open.
It's not a great start.
McCall.
That is not good.
So, real quick, Eric.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, the big story for Eric McCabe just got back from, we've been calling it a bucket list item, just a once-in-a-lifetime. Well, hopefully,
it'll be a multiple trip.
Yeah, multiple
It
trips.
will be a multiple.
But just a unique opportunity to go to Alaska to not only visit the country and see the country. The country? The country. The countryside.
The 49th state.
Yeah, the 49th
How about
state. That? Not the country. But to see the what's the word I'm looking for?
The landscape.
Landscape of Alaska.
Yes.
Pretty sweet.
It was pretty cool. You know, it's the 49th state.
Yeah.
It was my 49th state.
Whoa.
I did not see them in order by any means, but that would have been pretty cool. That would have been cool. But no, it was my 49th state playing disc golf.
But lay it out for us. You obviously the anticipation, and then when you land and you're out and you're like, I'm on Alaska soil.
Okay, so it was crazy. So Denise and I went. Obviously, she went with me, and we decided to fly out super early in the morning, and we had a 22-hour layover in Seattle.
Oh,
so we wanted to just hang out in Seattle for the day, go play the course, SeaTac, and then kind of explore a little bit. So we're like, cool. So we got up super early in the morning, drove to Kansas City Airport. Our flight was at 7 a.m.
Yeah, we were at the airport around the same time.
Yep, you were, because I was texting you.
Yep.
But I pulled in, and we were checking in at 6 o'clock. 6 a.m. We were at the kiosk, ready to go. And the lady's like, where are you guys flying today? You guys flying to San Diego or something? I'm like, no, Seattle. And she goes, oh. And I'm like, what?
What is this? Oh.
She goes, well, they changed that flight and the doors just closed. It flies away at 6 a.m. I'm like, wait, what? And it was Alaska Airlines. And she goes, who did you buy your ticket through? And I go, well, we bought it through a third party. Thinking, whatever, that shouldn't matter.
Sure.
They don't notify you.
They don't notify you if your flight changes through third party.
Brutal.
That's
so our flight changed. So they go, oh, well, we can get you on a flight at 3:40 today. I'm like, cool. I'm glad we got here super early. So we actually went over
in Kansas City now.
Yeah. So we went to Pete's house and crashed for a little while. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
But we ended up flying into SeaTac and actually had like a 8 or 9 hour layover now, but we ended up getting around in at SeaTac still. Good. So that was cool. But no, flying into Alaska, we had no idea what to expect. I'd only talked to the guys that hired us to come out like twice on the phone.
Yeah.
And just no clue. He's like, well, yeah, you're going to stay in an apartment on the property. I'm like, okay, this is Alaska. So in my head, I'm painting a picture of Alaska, and I'm painting like the Kilcher family or these families that are homesteaders, like we're going to be in some little cabin over here.
Right.
And we get there, we got the car, we drove up to where we were staying, pulled into the property, and it was just like, oh my gosh.
It was just,
I remember the pictures you posted.
Ridiculous. Like just over the hill. Yes, it was like the Bard for sure. Pulled over the hill, and there's the lake. There's this huge cabin. There's 5 small cabins, and it every morning we woke up and looked out, it was just still like breathtaking.
That's awesome.
And amazing.
This is awesome.
And so yeah, we spent the week and a half there designing and kind of sightseeing and doing some fun stuff like that. We played a local league.
Yeah.
Took the 2 guys that hired us to come out to play the league, and they'd never played league before. They'd only been playing disc golf for about a year. So they didn't know what to expect, and so I told them that they need to go check out the local scene and get to know the people, and because they're going to be hosting leagues at their property as well. And this course, I'm telling you, it will be a bucket list course for any disc golf enthusiast, because it's just going to be amazing. I'll tell you about one of the holes real quick.
Yeah.
One of the holes, and the guys, this was totally his idea. He's like, what do you think about a hole on the water? I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? A hole on the water? He goes, just think about that for a little bit. And then I moved on.
Mm-hmm. So you're like, nah.
I'm like, nah, bro.
Nah, dude.
I go, I know you want to keep your pro shop busy, but so
high turnover.
Yeah. So what we ended up doing was there's the last 17, hole 17 is going to be, there's going to be a dock that goes out about 200 feet and makes a turn into the lake. And it'll be a stationary dock. It'll have poles that go all the way into the ground, so it'll be stable.
Right.
and we're putting a tee box on that.
Nice.
I'm going to have a tee pad on the middle of the pond, lake, shooting back uphill. It's going to be about a 230 foot hole. So it's going to be short, but up through a nice gap onto a nice plateau.
That's awesome.
And the basket, where the basket sits, is going to be just a beautiful view of Hatcher's Pass and the big mountains in the background and
that's so
the
sick.
lake and the trees. And it's just amazing.
That's going to be really
Just
cool,
ridiculous. The wildlife up there was really cool to see, except the one moose that we ran into.
Yeah, okay.
Which was a little scary because they were like, here's some bear spray. You're going to need this. I'm like, I've never designed a course where I needed bear spray.
Right, yeah.
So
like tick spray, sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like
bears,
things that can kill me, like now.
Yeah.
But we only ran into one moose in the wild. We ran into a bunch of other ones like out and about, but just one in the actual wild that was kind of like, all right, let's just back off. They say, if he's looking at you and his ears go back and he starts, that's when you need to like hide behind a tree.
Right.
Like keep a tree between you and him.
You're not going to outrun it.
No. And they're like, and if you see a grizzly, play dead. I'm like, play dead?
Have they seen Revenant?
Like, that doesn't work.
Dude, the worst.
And then they said, if you see a black bear, look big and be loud because they're just as scared as you. I go, I doubt that, but because you can't climb a tree to escape a bear.
Yeah, because bears can climb faster than they can run.
Yes.
Tell him, Jim.
So
office, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So that was wild.
Well,
it was
cool.
It was a little nerve wracking at times being in the woods by yourself, but we walked them through the property, the course. They loved it. Destination stock course. The two guys, Steve and Mike. I can't say enough good things about these two guys. They're just phenomenal individuals. The property used to be a church camp, and it's closed down for a few years now. And they're remodeling. They're putting a lot of money into it. It's going to be a destination type place to go camp, to do weddings and stuff like that. So
That's
it's
awesome.
Sick.
Pretty awesome.
Pretty cool. Well, cool. So in about a year, you think roughly they'll have it done and ribbon cutting?
Yeah, they're doing. They're starting to work. Hopefully soon. They've got a lot of work to do on the cabins to get it completed first. But the head landscaper on the property was going to buy an excavator this weekend to just start going through the trees. And the guy that's cutting the gaps and doing the fairway trimming and everything is actually an old traditional golf course. He used to do the landscaping at a traditional golf course. Oh. So he has, the thoughts, the ideas of how to make everything look good. And they're really going to dress this place up with a lot of landscaping. Like it's going to be phenomenal.
Very cool.
And I think you guys should go back with me.
I would be
I'm
more
extremely
than happy.
We could do Answer Man from the dock.
Remote.
Do it.
From that tee pad?
From that dock. And what else is cool? The sun never went down. It was like Sweden a few years ago.
Oh, really?
Never went down.
That's crazy.
It like went down behind the mountain a little bit, but like 12 o'clock at night, we're out there making s'mores and the lights, it's still sun.
That's so cool, dude.
It was fun. Cool.
Well, Robert, you play. Oh, the reason Eric's "Will You Marry Me?" Why I use that is because
we got engaged.
I'll be honest.
You were surprised?
I was a little hurt that we didn't know before you left.
I thought about
surprise.
He's
telling
playing
everybody.
He's playing him close to the vest. I respect it.
Yeah,
I respect it.
No, absolutely, I respect it. But
the best part was Denise had no idea.
Not even a clue.
Not even a clue.
Okay, wait. Tell us real quick. How'd you do it?
So we went to this place called Thunderbird Falls in the middle of nowhere. And we hiked all the way up to the top. And I thought, this would be a cool place to do it at a waterfall is what I always want to do because she loves waterfalls. Right. And we were at the top of the hill and there was people around. There's mosquitoes everywhere. I'm like, this isn't it. This isn't it. Then she goes, you want to hike down to the bottom? I go, yeah, let's do it. So we hiked all the way down. And then we like crawled along the rock wall, along the water, like the glacier water that's ice cold around it. And we found this little like, I don't know. It's almost like a cave, but it's not.
Yeah.
But it was like the waterfall was right there, and it was just us. And then just pulled it out and asked.
Were you nervous?
No.
Really? Of course, you've been dating for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we've been together for almost 6 years.
Yeah. But even if you know she's going to say yes, it's still like nerve-wracking. At least it was for me.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I knew she was going to say yes, obviously.
Well,
I mean, if she said no, I could have just left her at the waterfall in Alaska. So, I mean,
this is what you get.
This is what you get.
Good luck getting back to Emporia.
Sure, there was like there was something there. So it was just the perfect
it's a special
time.
moment.
Yeah, it was the perfect time.
Now, how long have you been planning this?
Oh, for a while. A little while.
But I mean, I guess not necessarily doing it in Alaska, but how long have you been planning to propose?
Probably about 6 months or so.
And then when Alaska came up, you're just like,
when I heard that Alaska was coming, I'm like, that's got to be the place we do it.
That's perfect.
That's
you know,
good.
so it was going to be like in New York or something at a cool waterfall that she really liked. Maybe like the first waterfall we went to. I thought about doing something there, but
that or Peter Pan's little fountain.
Yeah, little fountain.
Equally as beautiful.
long as the bubble bandit hasn't attacked it yet.
Dude, the bubble bandit.
So yeah,
That's
but it was great. It was awesome.
Well, good for everyone. Congratulations.
We will.
Obviously.
Thank you.
Wait, have you set a date yet?
No, we talked about probably fall of next year.
Okay.
Because we got to look at venues. We got to do all this other stuff. And
Well, what was interesting, what I found interesting was I saw the post, and obviously I liked it, and I was like, yes, oh my gosh, Sue was nearby. I was like, Sue, Eric proposed, blah, blah, blah. Is that I remember when Denise was on here one time, I think, was it you were on there too?
Probably.
And we were talking, and you were out of town, and I can't remember what that came up. I think we said girlfriend of Eric McCabe or something like that. And I said, when's he going to put a ring on it?
oh, really?
And she kind of like got like, golly, Bobby, what put me in a stereotype. Everybody's got to get married.
Oh, that's funny.
I was like, I told you needed to put a ring on
That's
it.
funny.
So anyway, well, congratulations.
She did ask me on the way, so when are we going to do it? And I go, God, get off my back, woman.
Yeah. Golly.
Already.
Is this what it's going to be like?
Yeah, really. God, go do the dishes or something.
Dude,
I'm playing. So, Robert, you played in the Kansas City Wide
Yeah,
Open, which
man.
is an A tier that played, obviously, in Kansas City. Had a few big names out there: Coda Hatfield, Nico LaCastro, Ron Converse.
Yep, Andrew Presnell was out there.
Yeah.
A bunch of good players out there. I ended up playing okay. I did. I've discovered this about myself, especially when my game isn't like really sharp, that I'll make one or two mistakes that cost me the difference between 1,000 rated round and not. Right. And so my first round I played Waterworks, half blind, half not, and I shot.
Really?
Yeah.
What is your problem? How long have you been here?
Hold on. I had played it once, but it was different pin positions at the time.
Okay.
So I saw the first like 9 before the round started, and then played the front half pretty blind to the pin positions I was playing.
Fair enough.
So that ended up being 10:02. I had one. I got waterworked one time where I threw a bad drive, threw an upshot that hit a tree right by the basket, like low and by the basket, and just by. Yeah, exactly like that. So that was 10:02. Then we played Rosedale, and I played really well to start Rosedale, and then just had a couple of just little mental slips, and I 3-putted once in the wind, and that was 990. And so that was good enough at the time for 6th or 9th or something. I don't remember. Then we went to Cliff Drive, which was the one I practiced before the tournament. And I'm really glad that I saw that one because I played the woods really, really well. Got out into the open, and they have a par 5. It's up on the side of a hill, and the hill runs right to left downhill, and the wind is a slight headwind right to left. So a really, really difficult wind for this tee shot. I didn't throw the greatest tee shot, just a little too low, so I laid up, and then you play it on the island green, and there's a light pole at the tip of the island green. And I was cruising at the light pole, looking to miss it just to the right or left. I didn't really care. I was aiming to the right. But just to finish left on the island, move up to the island, take my 4 and move on. And it squared the light pole and fell in the street. And so drop zone, threw my upshot long to make sure I landed the island, didn't make the putt, got a 7. So that was a pretty quick swing from pretty darn good round to not great. That was 999. Danny was on the bag for the last little bit of that, so he got to witness that.
You got a 9?
He got a 9 on that hole. Yeah,
Oof.
It was rough.
Almost a hog snout.
It was rough.
Circle 11.
Yeah, circle 11.
Oh.
And then the last round, Blue Valley, I played entirely blind. And
that's fine.
Is it fine?
I think it's
fine. It was
fine.
exceptionally
Because you just throw
difficult.
as far as you can 3 times and then make a putt.
That's true. It was difficult for me because there was a couple of landing zones that a couple of really bad spots you don't want to land, and I found those a couple of times.
Well, the problem with that is too. When do you practice Blue Valley?
Yeah, you
like
don't.
Because it's
you cry when you do.
Oh.
It was just really, really long. I threw fine. I actually putted really well all weekend. I 3-putted twice, which I normally don't. But I probably made 7 or 8 outside the circle putts.
That's solid.
And everything inside the circle other than just a couple of little slip ups.
They still have Mach 3s out there, don't they?
Yeah, I really only got pushed out on the left side once.
Okay.
I didn't get any spits straight back or straight through. I bet I missed 4 or 5 inside the circle all week. 2 of those were in the 3 putts. And so it was all right. I ended up tying for 9th with Ben Wiggins and Cooper Arnold. And there's one other, I don't remember right off the top right now. Ron Condors ended up tying for 2nd with Nico, but Jacob Henson is a kid out of Mississippi's 987 rated or something. And he
saw that.
Shredded. He was up 10 going into the last round. Up 10 on the entire field.
That's crazy.
He went 1060 something, 1050 something, and then like 1030 something.
Bagger.
I know, weak. But yeah, so congrats.
He also played something else.
Norman, he got
Norman.
third. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then he was at I think Arkansas State Championships. He got 2nd.
Okay.
So yeah, he's really good player.
He also won the Flex
him.
Friday.
That's
event.
true. Yeah,
I saw that
at Waterworks. That's right. So anyway, an enjoyable weekend. I had fun doing it. It didn't play to my standards, but it definitely could have been worse. Just didn't quite put it together. This
So the
time.
big question though is, how does that fare?
Oh, what did it rate?
Closer to my.
Well,
I was going to ask about that.
What it rated was like pretty much exactly what I'm rated now. It averaged like 994.75.
So it's not going to move the needle either way.
Well, what's dropping off from last year was Wichita Doodah, at which I averaged like 970 something.
Ooh.
So that'll help a little bit. It won't jump me up to 1,000. And at the next update, the wild chair from last year will come off, and I averaged like 1020 something at that event. So I've got to cover that up with something good. So
it'll even itself out.
Yeah, I've got to cover that up with something good at some point.
When's your next tournament?
After Europe, for sure. I mean, I can't.
We're going to do a lot of work on Europe, and just be careful when you walk around in Europe. So
yeah, just so you don't get hurt or whatever.
I
just watched Titania.
I guess.
On Hulu.
Isn't it good?
It is really good. Watch it.
I want to watch it.
I think I have too. Yeah,
it's really
good. It was
good.
Interesting.
I enjoyed it.
I may play one overseas. I'm not sure yet, but after that, I'm going to have to kind of hit the ground running if I want to.
Are you playing the Toonie Open?
Not Toonie. I may play.
Yes, I am.
Play.
Are you playing though?
Skellefteå. We'll see.
Skellefteå.
There's like 100 and something signed up for that one. That's cool.
Yeah. Should be pretty cool.
So if you're curious about why we're talking about his rating, is that from a while back we have a bet going. Just a real quick elevator pitch. I told Robert he couldn't be rated 1,000 while he
said because you get worse at disc golf when you work at disc golf.
So
I've already won that part because I've gotten better since I've moved here. But
this is true. That is true. You've improved your rating.
I have.
But I told him he wouldn't get above 1,000 before the year 2019. And so we're trying to track that. And it's June. We're halfway there.
Right. And I'm at 995 right now.
Yeah.
The last update I went up to 98, but it was when they had all the messed up events.
And the closer you get to 1,000, the harder it is, right?
Oh yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
Every point is
just
so hard to get right
line,
now. Yeah.
So
and that's what was so frustrating about the weekend is I had like that one throw, like that light pole hit. That cost me 3 strokes. That's the difference between 999 and 1024.
How much when you hit something like that? How much is that's a bad shot, and how much in your mind is I just screw up that rating for that?
Oh,
round?
I don't care about that. It's after the round when I'm like, oh, there's my one shot.
Okay. Yeah, it's after the round. So anyway, and so what's on the line is a Dymax disc. If I win, I get to make one of my choosing, and he has to throw it. Vice versa. Yeah. Lunch is on the line.
Let me ask: does the disc itself? Does the loser get to pick the disc?
Yes, because I think
it's got to be one that like goes straight into my bag. Like,
right.
I will throw this for sure.
Like a Warden for him.
A Warden.
Yeah. Or an Emax, like if we have hybrid Emax or something like that. Like something.
And then for him, it would be something else.
Probably a Maverick or
or a
like
Suspect or something like that.
Yeah, a Suspect.
I can't wait to see.
Do we have Dymax Mavericks?
Not yet. We might.
Okay,
but Bobby, we can get you.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Anyway, all right. So we've talked long enough.
Too much.
Let's get to the questions.
Let's get to some.
Oh, we do questions on this show?
Yes, we actually do.
This is disc golf chat, man.
Disc golf chat, man.
The life of Bobby
I kind of like
man.
that. I kind of like that.
I like it.
Man. All right, so we've got a few speak pipe questions. Speak pipe questions.
Speed pike.
I was watching a show where they were doing the behind the scenes of a gaming channel. What was it we were talking about? League of Legends.
Sorry, you're probably talking about League of Legends.
Yes, League of Legends. Okay. So anyway, they do a lot of rehearsing, like they get their mouth ready to go and stuff.
Pretty intense.
No idea why I just.
What is that one? I can't remember now. But
all right, so anyway, go to discgolfanswerman.com. Submit your disc golf questions there. We will get it on the air. The first one is from Jon Idar Vig.
Okay.
Jon Idar Vig.
Nailed it.
I hope I got that right.
It's probably close.
Let's see what he has to say.
What's up, guys? This is Uniter, aka the First Bear Guy.
No,
And me and Dean Schaub are hosting The Perfect Flight, which is a podcast covering the European disc golf scene.
Nice.
And my question to you is, what kind of content do you find interesting in a disc golf podcast? Just to give us some inspiration and, try to provide it through The Perfect Flight. So, thank you for the inspiration. See you in Finland for Tuni in a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
Basically, start with Disc Golf Answerman episode 1.
You're just going to want to listen through the entire catalog.
And just kind of take notes on every episode.
Yeah.
All of them.
We start off with, if I had to choose my ideal disc golf podcast, we start off with some general chatter. Then we take some questions from the audience.
Right. And we chat in between about products.
Stuff like that.
It's the nice thing about today's disc golf media atmosphere, or whatever, is that there's a lot to choose from.
Yep.
Like, I know a lot of people want us to have interviews on here, which we do from time to time, team interviews. They want us to talk about tournaments, which we do from time to time. But if you want more niche stuff, like if you want to specifically analyze a tournament, you've got On the Box with Dixon Jowers, you've got Upshot that does a good job, and then you've got PDGA that's doing it with Steve Hill and
Sarah Lamerson.
Sarah Lamerson. So they're doing a really good job on that type of stuff. Ours is kind of we get a lot of newbies, so we have people sending questions and people wanting to improve their game and stuff like that. So we try to have a mix of everything.
Now, I know
I think you just got to pick something and do it.
Right. Well,
don't be all over the board.
Yeah,
like us.
Yeah, you want to.
Yes, exactly.
I think you want to get into something that you feel confident in doing, that you enjoy doing, right? For us, it's answering questions for people so that they can improve their game. And that's from new players all the way up to, we have experienced players who call in and ask for advice.
I learned stuff on this show.
Yeah, same. But most of it's not when Bobby's talking. Anyway.
It's always when Bobby's talking.
Oh, dang it.
It's only.
Okay.
It's exclusively.
Exclusively. So just, I think pick a lane and stay in it. Do that.
Here's a big thing. A lot of times when people, entrepreneurs and people create products, a lot of time they are trying to scratch their own itch. So if there's something, when you see the podcast, you're like, man, I wish I had something I could listen to that talked about X, Y, Z. I'm sure there's other people that want to hear that perspective. So I think it's cool. Let us know once you get it up and a link and stuff like that so we can let people.
And that's Dean from Amsterdam.
Yep.
In case you didn't catch it.
Say his name?
Dean
from Amsterdam. Like who calls in with the students every once in a while.
Yep.
From
Oh,
Amsterdam.
nice.
That's Dean.
Nice.
That's who Dean Schaub
Oh, and we
is.
get to meet him when we go to Toonie?
I've met him a few times, actually.
Oh, when you went to visit, or did
When
you
I've been
come
to
here?
Europe a few times.
okay.
and-
Yeah, I think that's the plan this year.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
I
cool.
have a disc for him, actually. We're going to trade. He has
Nice.
a L64 custom EMAC that we're going to trade.
I'm getting excited about the Finland trip. Have you guys looked at the weather yet?
I have.
Not yet.
And?
Like 60s, 70s.
So definitely take some pants.
Definitely take some pants.
I need my freaking passport to come in, man.
Ooh, somebody might not be going.
I expedited it, but it hasn't come in yet. I got a thing that said it's been accepted and it'll be delivered, but I need it to be here so
Robert's not going to Finland.
You're not going to Paris.
What happened? Like, did you just not know that it was
you must
expired?
have been out of town when this
I was
happened.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I sent in the regular form same day as Rusco, like we did them at the same time. I forgot to sign my form.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, whoops. Because I completed it on the computer, then you print it out, put it in. Okay. So I got sent back to being with my check that they hadn't cashed, thankfully, and they just said we can't process this because you haven't signed it. So now that I'm inside 4 weeks of the trip, I need to expedite it.
Yes.
So I just got to pay another $60. Here, have this.
I should. How long are passports? Like 10 years?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. As long as yours
expired.
I don't think
you're
so.
going to want to check that out.
I'm pretty sure I got mine in like 2010.
Yeah, you should be all right. Anyway.
Yeah.
You might check that.
I'll check it just in case.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, I'm excited.
But yeah, I need it to come
about
in
Finland.
stat.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Gonna be do some fun stuff. All right, next one comes from. Where's my? There it is. This one is from Adam.
Hello, Eric, Bobby, and Robert. I'm from Iowa. I just got done actually playing my first rec division full tournament, 2 rounds. I placed pretty well. And been doing pretty good. I enjoy listening to your guys' podcasts. It's really helped me. 2 questions. I'm looking for just slightly more stable disc than my Renegade. I'm starting to flip it over quite a bit. And then also I'm looking at trying to raise money for the disc for our local high school where the disc golf course is located. And right now they're kind of throwing Walmart discs. I'm just looking for suggestions on all-around discs for any type of thrower, just like a putter and a mid, just to get stacks for the school to use. Thanks, guys.
Something more stable than a Renegade.
I thought more stable than a Renegade.
Yeah, more
I'm starting
stable.
to
You might
flip it.
try a Bio Trespass. I think that might fit that sort of same speed, but slight tick up in stability. That's what I would
That's
try.
a good one. I know Denise throws the Renegade quite a bit, and when she needs something a little bit more overstable, she goes with the Havoc.
Oh, that's right.
as
Yeah.
well. So a Havoc is another good option.
It'll be a little bit faster.
It will be
But I
faster.
think it has more turn than a Trespass, so those kind of balance each other out.
Yep.
Yeah.
For me, it's the Trespass. I have a Bio Trespass and a hybrid, that creamy pink and white Trespass that we had for a while back.
Ooh,
Right, yeah.
It's got just a little bar stamp. What was interesting is I was throwing it at Sooner Park over the weekend, and it was fairly windy. I noticed that the hybrid actually stood up faster than the Biofusion did, which is surprising. So I don't know if
That's interesting.
Yeah, maybe it was just the wind I was throwing into. So
Could be.
I
No,
wasn't
that was a
like-
hybrid.
Yeah.
So you can pick up one of Tina's hybrids if there's any of those available still.
The only ones I know of are on L64 Custom if they have them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next one comes from Zach. He says, I just bought my first Oh, wait, we didn't answer all his questions. Fundraising. One way to do that is, obviously, I'm sure some of you knew we're going to say it. It's Trilogy Challenge. Run a Trilogy Challenge to help raise funds for gathering discs.
Well, it also gets you discs.
Yes, you can get discs and have people play. Maybe if you're connected to any kind of disc golf club or organization in the area, maybe they have some way of helping you raise funds to get discs. When we're talking specific molds for starters, for people, basic ones, a nice basic classic Judge as a putter, a nice basic
Or Prime even.
Prime even.
Prime.
A nice EMAC Truth would be a nice neutral mid-range to get them started. I mean, to just get real specific.
Yep.
All right, next one is from Zach. He says, I just bought my first EMAC Truth. It's a max weight Lucid. For me, it's a longer, more reliable buzz and fits between my buzz and my drone. I'm thinking about getting a couple Prime EMAC Truths to cycle, hoping a slightly beat one will replace my buzz and a very beat one will replace my Meteor. How does this sound to you guys?
Cool.
Any experience cycling Prime discs?
I haven't. I don't spend a lot of time with the only thing like Prime or Retro in my bag is my putters. I don't like to have my mids or drivers necessarily, unless it's raining or something like that, kind of special occasion type thing. But I will. I would suggest possibly a Biofusion EMAC.
Okay.
Or even one of the Fusion Burst EMACs. Either one of those has the potential to be a little bit more understable, kind of hold that straight line a little bit longer. So maybe even a lighter weight Biofusion EMAC would be my recommendation.
Excellent.
Robert would agree.
Robert would agree. He looked like he had to step out to get a phone call. Hope everything's okay.
Yes.
Next one is from Jacob. I used to play a lot of disc golf, but never took the time to learn the correct technique. I can throw a forehand decently. However, I really struggle on a backhand. I'm looking to put in some field work to get better. What is the best approach? I read a lot of people saying start by throwing putters because they show your form. What is y'all's thoughts?
Yeah, I like the idea of putters. Putters will show your form. Whenever I'm introducing someone to the sport, I always put a mid-range in their hand.
Okay.
Mainly because a lot of the people that start out with drivers, and it can tend to teach bad habits a little bit, in my opinion, obviously. But a mid-range is a nice neutral flying mid-range that can kind of hold a line, that they can get the fly straight, and then kind of work up to the driver, so to speak. And obviously, you've been playing for a little while. The suggestion we always throw out is make sure you get a camera on you,
right,
so you can figure out what you're doing, and if you're dropping your shoulder, if you're reaching back, or if you're rounding. I mean, there's so many different things that you could be doing wrong.
So, Robert, a lot of people do say that pick up a driver, pick up a putter. Not everybody. I've seen some people argue that approach. But the reason they say is, like Eric said, they kind of show you your flaws or whatever. Why is that?
In my opinion, it's because putters in particular are usually not super overstable, right? And even the overstable ones aren't like, they don't act as overstable drivers. The reason for that is that they spin slower than the other discs. And so in order for a putter to fly the way that it's intended to, if you're trying to throw it straight and have it carry straight, you have to let it go on a level plane with, a straight reach back and a straight follow through so that the disc is spinning the way that it needs to. If you're not getting it up to speed, it's going to just kind of drop off to the left. Or if you're trying to overpower it, it's just going to wobble and just, wounded duck, right? Mm-hmm. So once you can learn to throw a putter like that, because it won't mask your flaws, once you can learn to throw one that just stays straight, then that's why I like starting somebody out with a putter, because once they can do that, now you hand them a truth or an EMAC truth. And it's like, oh, wow, now I can get more distance because I can throw properly. And then they can do that. So you hand them a witness or a maverick. And then it's like, oh, wow, now I have another jump in distance instead of learning the wrong way and then having to totally relearn everything. Yeah.
We talked about it earlier before we started recording the audio podcast. So if you're watching this on YouTube, this will be a little redundant. Redundant. But for our audio listeners, let's talk about this Friday. June 15th is New Release Friday. So real quick, we want to make sure we highlight some discs that are coming out. Now, first one we have is not a new mold, but a new plastic. We have the Origio, which is the base plastic for Westside. The Origio Burst Bard. And this is a mid-range, I would say
it's an overstable, quite overstable, yeah.
Overstable fairway.
Quite a bit.
What type of shot is this good for, Robert?
I mean, anything that you need to finish to the left if you're a right-hand backhand thrower. Let it go flat, it's going to move to the left for you. Start it over a little bit to the right, it's going to work back to flat and move to the left for you. I mean, these are nice and overstable, and they're really reliable as a result.
Now, the Bard's been out for a while. This is just a new plastic Origio Burst, but the Getaway is still a fairly new mold.
Right.
That's just been put out. A very popular fairway driver for quite a few people, if you are on Facebook and you see people talking about it, that enjoy our brands. But it is now in Fusion Burst.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Fusion is, I know that Eric likes more of the Lucid feel, but I prefer the Fusion, and it just really comes down to a matter of feel.
For the most part, yeah.
And and then the Burst, of course, is the really nice Burst we got going on.
I'd say these are slightly less overstable than the Lucid ones.
Yeah.
Like a half tick less overstable.
So, but Eric, talk a little bit about the Getaway and how you're thinking the Fusion will.
The Getaway it's a great fairway driver. It's something that I think we've been lacking, at least in the DD lineup, for quite some time. It's more stable than I was ever going to give it credit for when I heard we were coming out with quote, Escape Pro, because that's kind of how we explain it to people, like a more overstable Escape. It is a more overstable Escape.
Yeah.
It has great glide. It just stays in the air for days, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I remember watching a few players, Jonathan Ray's one of them, Weston Isaacs at GBO off hole 1. Mm-hmm. They're at GBO, that 1,000-footer. They're throwing the Getaway on that hole.
Right.
And mashing it as far as I was throwing my Ballista Pro.
Right.
I mean, just on like a nice flat release, and it just holds that straight line and just goes straight for days. For the majority of the players out there, this is going to be more of an overstable fairway driver. With a predictable fade at the end of the flight.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I know I've seen, I know this is anecdotal on Facebook, but I've seen a lot of people say that Getaway is gliding and goes just as far as some of the distance drivers they were throwing while they're out doing field practice, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So, when I was throwing mine this weekend, I was playing with pretty much every card I played with this weekend. I was the shortest thrower on the card. And I joke a lot that I don't throw super far, and which is true. I don't throw super far, but I can put them out there if I need to. And a lot of times when I was throwing the Getaway compared to these other guys, distance drivers, we were hanging right in there. I was probably on average 20 or 30 feet shorter than them on my full power drives as compared to theirs. And mine was with the Getaway a lot of times just because I wanted that extra control. Yeah. So it's a great disc.
And 2 discs that are coming from Westside Discs. I know there's a lot of loyal Westside throwers. And this is in the stock stamp, which means it's going to be more readily available in quantities, is the Westside Discs Anvil, which is an overstable mid-range, and the Westside Disc Warhorse, which is a very overstable distance driver. Mm-hmm. Did it make the bag for either of you, or is this... or?
The Bard won't make the bag for me personally, mainly because of the plastic.
Yeah.
The Getaway, once again, the plastic probably won't make the bag, but the getaway, the disc itself is in my bag.
Yep.
The Lucid getaway is absolutely in my bag.
Definitely. Yeah. I carried 3 this weekend just because I really liked them.
Yeah. Now the Warhorse, have you guys each thrown that?
Yes. And for me, it's a little too overstable for what I would use it for.
Yeah.
But for somebody like, Eric, or like who really likes the Warhorse is AJ Risley.
Yeah.
He loves starting something either flat or slightly forced over. And he loves the stability on the Warhorse because he can lean into it, even into a headwind, and it'll just push right a little bit and always come back left. So he's loving the Warhorse for that reason.
And a lot of people are comparing the Anvil and the Justice, and they're very similar, but I think what I'm reading online is the Anvil has a little more glide, so a little different application than you would have for the Justice. And it has, is it totally no bead or just a little bead?
The Anvil, no bead.
No bead at all. So it's not, and of course the Justice has a bead. So anyway, 4 discs, 2 brand new molds, somewhat brand new. I mean, we've had first runs and stuff like that, but new stock stamp Anvil and Warhorse from Westside Discs, and then Westside Origio Burst Bard and Dynamic Disc Fusion Burst Getaway, all coming out June 15th, 11 a.m. Central. If you're listening to this after June 15th, hopefully we have some left.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the questions. This next one's from Cooper Kessler. And why are you not working? There we go.
What's up, Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze?
What's up, Cooper?
Mac, McCabe,
So,
and Robert. If you refer to Danny for a question one more time, just put him on the show. McCall. My name's Cooper, and I've got a question about the rules. Just like golf, when you mark your golf ball on the green, and then you read your putt and you put the golf ball back down. Can we do that in disc golf? So if I have a lie that's next to a tree and I mark my disc and pick it up and I decide that tree's in the way and I want to be a little further back on my stance, can I put my regular disc back down and pick my mini up so that I can throw from further back? Anyway, just wondering what that was. Other than that, shout out to Danny. He's the man. Love you guys. See ya.
Cool. Thanks for calling in, Cooper.
actually, it's not like traditional golf because in traditional golf, you actually mark behind the ball.
Right. Yeah, you back mark the ball. But yeah, to answer your question, I'd like to throw it over to Danny. So
okay.
If we could,
Danny?
I'm just kidding, Cooper. No, once you put a mini down, then you've established your new lie. So you cannot put your disc back down. So if you're thinking you might want that distance off the tree, look at that lie first before you mark your spot.
Yes.
Because you can't put the disc.
Yeah, always look at the lie first.
Yep.
Something else, when playing doubles.
Yeah.
If we're playing doubles.
Yeah, and you just walk up
and I just walk up and throw, and then you walk up and mark it.
Nope.
You just threw from
wrong.
Yeah.
Different lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So a lot of people don't know that though.
Mm-hmm.
I see that all the time.
Yep.
Say that one more time.
So, all right, we're playing doubles, and Eric's disc ends up inside the circle.
And we're undefeated.
Yeah, by the way, 2-0.
Just saying.
Sick.
Sweep the leg.
Wait, what?
Sweep
the leg. That's us. And so I walk up to the putt, and I don't mark it. I'm just like, whatever, this is close. And
then he misses.
And then I miss because that happens sometimes. If Eric goes up and now marks the disc, he's playing from a different lie than I played from. And so, yeah, he's playing from the wrong lie. So you have to play from the same lie as your partner.
Isn't that crazy?
No matter if the partner messes up.
Correct.
Wow.
So if he putted and didn't mark it, then I can't mark it. I have to walk up and putt the same way he did.
Wow.
Yes.
Next question comes from Kelsey.
Come up and flip the disc.
Yeah.
Hey guys, love your show. My fiance and I are looking forward to a road trip on the East Coast for our honeymoon.
Nice.
Nice.
Have you figured out your honeymoon yet?
No. Hawaii, maybe? Number
50th
50.
state, man.
Can I come out there and film it?
Sure.
Can I come out
Wait,
there?
the beach part. We currently live in
Can I come out there and
Washington.
hang out?
Hey, we currently live in Washington and have played all over the Pacific Northwest. He and I are thinking of starting in North Carolina and heading up north from there. What courses or areas should we plan our trip around?
That is a good question. East Coast disc golf. Well, obviously, I would, if you're starting in North Carolina, you got to hit up like Hornet's Nest and Renaissance Gold and all those awesome courses, and go up through Pawpaw.
I haven't played any
West
over
Virginia
there, so.
in that area, but I would absolutely get to the Northeast as quick as you can because there is some phenomenal golf in the Northeast. I would hit up Maple Hill.
Yep.
That's a must to hit up. I would go straight north about an hour and hit up the Hollows North and the Hollows South.
Yep.
You got 2 courses there now. And that's in Manchester, New Hampshire. From there, I would actually, depending on when they say they're doing this trip next year.
It doesn't say.
Either way, if you're doing it, I think the course is going to be open hopefully in August. So go on over to Biddeford, Maine. The course I just installed out there. Now I know I'm shouting out a lot of my courses, but I love my courses. What can I say?
Yeah.
Check out Biddeford, Maine. That place is going to be pretty phenomenal as well. And then while you're in the area, you might as well hit up Smugs.
You got to go to Smuggler's Notch.
Super far from there. I think it's only a 2-3 hour drive.
So sick.
And that's where Pro Worlds is this year. And those are kind of the courses on that side of the country that you need to hit up.
Yes.
Excellent. Next one, let's go to delete. Yes.
Go to delete.
Shay.
Oh.
Why is Robert such... Oh, no.
Wait, what?
Different. I'm sorry. No.
Okay.
When playing your second, third, etc. shot and there's a Mando,
yes.
How do you establish your lie? Is it in relationship to the Mando or the basket? My friend was left and short of a mandatory right tree, and the question came up.
Yes. Great question. Until you've passed the Mando, then the Mando is your point of is your target line. So once you've passed the Mando, you can disregard it entirely. You don't have to worry about it. However, up until that's wrong.
If you can see the basket on the good side of the Mando, you address it to the basket. If it's on the bad side of the Mando, then you address it.
I thought it was. Well, we'll clear this up at some point, but how I always understood it was if you're not past the Mando, then you play to the Mando, assuming that I guess that's a good way to put it. Assuming that you can't see the basket and you're still on the short side of the Mando, I would always play to the Mando. Once you have a direct line at the basket, you play to the basket. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it.
Whatever happened to now? Was it? Obviously, I don't play enough tournaments and stuff like that. The unwinding.
Mm-hmm. That's old school.
Was that an official rule or is that just a way of playing?
It was.
Nope, that was the official rule. You had to cross the Mando. Like if it's a left Mando, like for instance at Jones West, hole 10, the Mando hole.
Yeah.
We had a guy that used to play with us all the time. He was a lefty, and his first hole of Glassbone Open was that hole. Parked it. Missed the Mando.
Sorry about you.
So he had to unwind. So he threw his hyzer back, short of the Mando, but left. So he had to still go around.
Back and around.
Mando. He took an 8 to start on a hole that he should have taken a 2 on.
Pretty brutal.
When did they get rid of it?
That's the unwind rule has probably been gone for 8 or 9 years. Okay, so it's been a while.
So we were playing somewhere and someone said something about, remember when we used to have to unwind?
Yeah, you used to have to unwind.
And,
which is cool, but think about those holes that like speed of play
oh my gosh.
comes to play in. So
you find anything yet, Robert?
No, not that I can speak
I think
on.
It's kind of a gray area. Just do it how you want.
Yeah, the disc golf sort of gray area, man.
Yeah.
Next one is from Cade. All right, I got 2 questions. First, without bashing any other brand, why would you recommend disc golfers to throw Trilogy? First of all, Cade, hopefully you've been listening long enough. We never bash other brands. But fair point saying that. I think you already do a great job not talking that way about, I already said that already.
Right.
But had to separate.
That's okay.
I should probably read the whole question before because he says, I think you already do a great job not talking that way about other companies, but had to set the parameters. I get it. All right. So why would you recommend this? So and we've talked about this before, and this is my opinion. I think we make a great product. I wouldn't talk about our product unless I thought we made a great product. I think a lot of other disc golf companies make great products. There are some that don't make such great products, but for the most part, they make great products. My thing is that why would I want you to throw one of our 3 brands? Because we make good products.
Yeah.
No, a lot of what we try to project is we love the sport of disc golf. Now, a lot of what I'm going to say, these other companies feel the same way, but we love the sport of disc golf. We love growing it. We love seeing new people try it. I love seeing the look on people's faces as they improve. I love the look on people's faces when they're throwing an enforcer, and I say, "Hey, try this witness out," because they've been taught wrong, and they throw a witness and they get 10.
I was trying to figure out where you're going with.
Oh
that.
yeah, no,
man, you throw that enforcer so well. You should try this witness.
Try this thing instead.
No, I've had people where they've been taught wrong and they have an enforcer,
or not just taught wrong, but see what Ricky Wysocki throws.
Yeah, or they Yeah, and I tell maybe a witness is a bit extreme. There was one that actually I had him throw a Maverick. That's right. It was at the Oklahoma what I just played, the Tulsa Am Jam, and it was a practice run, and he was throwing. I can't remember what he was throwing, but it was like I could tell it was just too overstable, and he was turning it over to make it work. And I said, "Try this Maverick," and the look on his face was just like, "Whoa." And it wasn't necessarily like, oh, yeah, DD makes a better disc. It was just you need to learn how to throw the better disc, the right disc for your skill level. And so seeing stuff like that and being part of that, I think it's amazing. And if you connect with that, if you see yourself like that, then throw our brands because that's what we love to do. Support us. Does that make sense? That was like a really vague answer.
I like it.
I mean, yeah.
At this point, the top few companies are all making products that anybody could compete and win with. Look back at the last several world champions. Latitude 64, Innova, Discraft, Prodigy. I mean, there are quality products out there. Period. So what it comes down to is what works best for you and what company you want to support. That's it.
Right.
And if you like what we do, then buying our disc, we appreciate that. And if you buy other people's discs too, cool. We're very appreciative. We're very appreciative when you try ours out.
Next one, he says, second, which NFL quarterback would be the greatest disc golfer, and why do you think so?
Peyton Manning.
You think?
Just because we
Was
could
he
have
throw
him,
thumbers all day?
and we could have him in commercials.
Did
you see the roast the other day where that woman said that
That's true.
Peyton Manning is so great at commercials? You're like the Tom Brady of commercials. And it just burned him. Super bad. Hilarious. I would have him in commercials.
That's pretty good.
He's funny.
I don't know who I would have.
Real answer, I don't have any idea.
I think Aaron Rodgers already plays.
Is that right?
I think so.
I think he's the one that
is he on our team?
I think he's on Team DD.
Yeah, that's what
Don't be.
No, he's on Team Westside.
Yes, that's right.
Team Westside.
I don't know who. Terry Bradshaw back in the day.
Whoa!
Throwing it back. Joe Namath. Is that who you're going to go with?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Let's get
Trent Green.
Let's get a question in from Happy Fillmore. Can you imagine an imaginary menagerie manager managing menagerie in an imaginary menagerie?
Okay, good. Yeah.
You just
I can.
Just a quick tongue twister for you guys. Thank you. My question is, what is the best way, in your opinion, to mount a basket where the mounting pipe is level with the ground so it can be mowed over and have the basket be able to be removed without rust welding to the mounting pipe? Is there a plastic or a PVC sleeve that can be placed inside a pipe to prevent this, or maybe a better metal pipe for install?
Interesting. What kind of metal pipe are you using? Because I think ours are all galvanized steel, metal.
That help it from
that
rusting,
keeps it from rusting. Yeah. As far as putting them in the ground, I always recommend keeping them out of the ground a little bit, unless you're going to use those boxes. What are they called?
It's like what you use for drainage and irrigate, like that
irrigation box. That's what it is. A lot of people would do those flat, which that works great too, and you can mow right over the top of those. But for the most part, when you put a basket in, I mean, I'll be honest, most of the time the grass around it dies.
Sure.
For the most part. I mean, you got the nice concrete circle that you can easily mow around. I suppose if you're going to do it, the irrigation system is probably the best way and the only way to do it to where you can actually mow over it.
Right. Because then you can bury the lock too and secure the course a little bit better. Yeah.
Excellent.
And I don't know about the PVC pipe. I've seen people use PVC pipe and poles in ground sleeves before, and they just break.
Yeah.
Especially if you're anywhere where the ground freezes.
Correct.
So this weekend we have another exciting weekend for Dynamic Discs. We are going to the Arrowhead Stadium. We are once again taking disc golf to a football stadium.
Nice.
And to a venue that like no other. I may sound bragging or whatever, but we were the first to do this, and it's exciting to do it again, to bring disc golf to such a large arena. I'm looking forward to walking through the Kansas City Stadium. I'm looking forward to watching people throw discs through the stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just good times.
Always super fun.
Much fun.
People have fun listening to their stories of throwing inside the stadium. I just think it's great. Watching them launch them out onto the field. It's going to be great.
From the VIP box is going to be
really cool.
Super cool.
Launching them out there. Of course, Eric's going to be there to play out there and play. Robert's going to be there. I'm going to be out there filming. Danny and Anthony are going to be out there having a good time.
I think we have a couple other DD players as well. We got Ron Con, I think, is going to be there.
Yep, Dixon Jowers will be there.
Okay.
Danny, like you said, Danny Lindahl will be there. Cynthia Ricciardi will be there.
Oh, wow.
Co-founder of the Glassbone Open, Gabe Worley,
Nice.
will be there.
And then from Westside Discs, Kyle Webster will be there as well.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's coming out here to do some stuff.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. Not many spots left, so not really pushing this as a get out there and sign up because I don't think there's but a few spots left, but I guess you can check
and they're
it out
in random tee times too.
So you're gonna have to find a RAM if you want to play. But if you want to just stop by, you can pay $10 to get in and get a lanyard and walk around the stadium and kind of watch people play. I know a lot of people are planning to have tailgate parties, so if you just want to hang out at the tailgate party, that should be nice fun. But it's just gonna be good times all around.
Agreed.
I'm looking forward to it for sure. We've got time for a couple more questions. This one is from Evan. What up, Disc Golf Fans Man crew? Recently, my friends and I made a new variation of the one disc round.
Okay.
Basically, we get in a circle and we get to pick which disc the person on our left will play with for that round out of their own bag. Most of the time, we try to pick a disc to really screw over each other.
Nice.
We love this game now because it keeps these rounds more casual compared to our usual serious demeanor.
I like that.
What disc would you pick for the person on your left so they struggle the most? What would you pick for me, Eric?
I like this.
That's a tough one.
Now it's got to be out of my bag.
It's got to be out of my bag. Oh. I thought I heard, right?
I thought it was.
We'll play for the round out of their own bag.
Yeah, so you pick out of my bag.
I pick a disc out of your bag.
I pick out of yours. Bobby picks out of my bag.
But I don't know what. I think
I'd give you something out of my bag.
I'm in the best situation here, for sure.
How come?
I think I carry the widest.
Because nobody is to your right?
That's right. I think I carry the widest range of stabilities, for one. But two.
But it's one disc.
Right. So then I could just pick for you Renegade.
Okay.
I mean,
I will own you with a Renegade.
You probably would, but still. But yeah, that's what I would pick for you.
I know we should play around with. You guys would have to play with a proof, a gavel,
and a breakout,
and a
easy money.
Yeah, breakout, not a prime.
Easy
breakout,
money. As long as it's not gusty wind, not scared.
Let's do it
all day.
I accept this.
And
challenge.
then I have to have super overstable. So I have to have like a Justice, a defender or
you'd want like a defender, a slammer,
a slammer, and a Justice. Those are your three.
Good luck.
The slammer would be my putter.
Yep.
Yeah.
What would be the putter for? Oh, the proof is the
proof.
Is it the gavel?
Or the gavel's the
putter. Proof is the mid.
I'm not scared.
Let's do this. I'm ready right now.
Let's go play.
I think that would be interesting.
So one disc out of your bag, I would probably.
If you're trying to make it so he didn't shoot well.
Yeah. Well, I suppose I would just pick the deputy. Putter round.
I'll putter round.
Yeah.
You gotta get that. It can get pretty finicky on distance.
It'll get finicky on distance, but it'll make you a better player.
Oh, see, he's thinking of me.
Yeah,
it's true.
For Robert, it would be a paper plate. So
he does carry those.
Oh, yes. I've got those in the bag just in case I get hungry.
I don't know your bag that well enough to. I'd try to pick something.
Better get to it.
What do you have that's understable?
My Renegade. Just say Renegade.
Yeah, Renegade's probably. If we both had to play one round with only a Renegade, that would probably be our worst scoring round of any other disc in the bag, right? Because say you give you a Judge, give me a Warden. I'm going to score better only throwing that than I would only throwing a Renegade. I think.
Depends on the course too.
It does. Yeah. I'm thinking of East, but if we played,
that's what I was thinking of too.
Yeah, if we played like Hammond, then pick a disc. It doesn't matter.
Renegade.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Yeah, it needs to be a course like East.
Let's do this.
Great, I'm interested.
I'm down.
Give me a proof, a breakout, and a gavel. Let's go.
I really like that idea. Let's do this.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It'll be the next extended will at Heiser.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yours will definitely Heiser.
Well, Bobby's will be
that's all
can it and Heiser.
Is it possible for this to ever track right?
That'll be fun.
All right, Evan.
Maybe we can do it at like midnight in Scaleftia.
It's college, yeah. Well, we're definitely not doing a 101 heat index in Kansas, that's for sure.
No.
Next question from J-Man. Last question. Hey, how close in comparison to the Maverick is the Maverick to a River and an Explorer to a St. Pro? I've been throwing 3 years in Ohio, and I still have not found that fall in love driver like I did with my mid range. Yep, you know it. The EMAC truth.
Nailed it.
Or my putter. Sorry, Robert. Judge for life.
Weak.
Is that normal not to have a go-to driver? I have a slower arm, getting mids about 200 and fairways to about 250, keeping them nice and flat or nose down, like Danny says. Please help me find my EMAC of drivers.
No, your EMAC of drivers.
Your soulmate.
I love that.
Okay, so the River compared to the Maverick, they're going to be fairly close. I think the River wants to stay in the air just a little bit longer. Barely a little bit longer. And I think it probably is going to turn a little bit more to the right than the Maverick will if you're throwing in that speed. That's what I think. And then the difference between the Explorer and the St. Pro is the stability is probably pretty similar. I might give the edge and stability to an Explorer right out of the box, but the St. Pro is going to be a little bit longer in general. It's going to have a little bit wider rim. I would probably throw the Explorer farther, but it's just because the rim feels comfortable to me. So that's kind of the difference between those two discs.
I think the Explorer is more predictable than the St. Pro.
I agree.
Because I'll pick up the St. Pro, and I had some that were stable, some that would flip. And with the Explorer, every single one I've picked up has been consistently the same.
Yep. I like it.
Cool.
All
right, guys, that's all the time we have for questions. Let's see. We talk about everything on my list. So real quick, skip ace. I'd forgotten all about Beaver State Fling, so I didn't get my points in. Anybody else?
Same.
Also.
All right, good stuff. So we'll go to specific Beaver State Fling.
Yeah, I checked this earlier. One guy crushed everybody.
Holy moly, he did by 136 points.
Yeah.
Mr. Aaron Fitz. He had a Fitz on everybody.
Ooh. I see what you did there.
You see what I
nailed it.
He picked Eagle McMahon. That was a good obvious pick. Garrett Gurthie.
I probably would have picked Eagle as well.
You think?
This week.
He's on one.
What? He's two of the three or
3 of the 4?
3 of the 4. That's just.
Yeah, he's shredding
right now.
He's
doing good. He picked Philo as well and Kevin Jones. Philo, of course, is lowest point earner.
Right. Kevin and Garrett tied for 3rd. Awesome finish for both those guys.
Yeah.
Not that they're not capable. That's just awesome for them. That's cool.
Oh, he counted out. He did not add Paige for his female picks.
Mm-hmm.
He had Sarah, Katrina. Of course, Katrina paid off as Katrina got that. Did she win?
Sarah Katrina was his backup pick. Is that right?
No. Katrina was his.
Oh, I see.
Pick.
I see. Yeah.
But he was probably limited on ratings looking at this. If I had to guess.
Yeah, that could be it. But it paid off for him with Katrina Allen. Was that a playoff? I didn't.
It did go to a playoff. Yep.
Same as last year.
Do we know how many holes?
One hole.
Oh, man.
Yep. That was
good for Katrina, though.
Yeah.
She needed a win.
It was good. I was,
she won some other stuff, but this is a big W. In the big picture, this is the big win.
Yeah.
In the bigger picture. So
absolutely.
good on her. And
well
I thought
done,
she put a Facebook post and she was happy and excited, thanking everybody. And I was like, that made me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see her in Europe, too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Good for her.
Yep.
Good for her to see me. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I'm glad she'll get to see me.
I can't wait for her to see me.
I know. Anyway, so the closest person behind Aaron was 136 points, and that's Patrick Larson.
Pretty impressive.
He didn't get anything for Kona. He got big points for Katrina. He picked Ricky, which got him okay points, but of course his big was, he picked Eagle, Kevin, and Garrett. So those were his big point earners for sure. All right, Aaron, if you're listening, thank you for playing and congratulations on your win for the Beaver State Fling. As you'll always be logged into your account, take a screenshot to prove that it is you logged in. Send it to Bobby, BOBBY, 50 B's in there if you want. BOBBY at Cool Daddy Slick. Nope. That's my old one, Bobby at dynamicdisc.com.
Yes.
And I'll send you a little gift.
I saw it
for playing.
Anthony Musk Vandenheuvel dropping down the stats a little bit.
What did he get?
He's into 16th place
now.
Where were you at last week?
Is this the overall?
I think 17th.
Oh, sorry. He's moving up in the stats
Moved
this week.
up one big spot.
Are we talking overall score?
The overall score, yeah.
Anthony.
Old Anthony.
That's because he does
knows
it
how
every
to
week.
pick them.
He just picks them.
He just remembers to do it. I like it. Well done.
So right now, Andrew Neufeld is in the lead for the overall standings. I believe Kevin Gillen was in the lead, but now Andrew takes over the lead.
Yep.
And if you're paying attention, like I mentioned last week, the grand prize is going to be is it Heather Gray? It's that black Ranger bag.
Heather Gray.
Sweet Ranger bag. That's going to be part of the grand prize.
Kevin's points is almost my PDJ number.
Dang.
11.6. What is your
11679 is his points. 11674.
Aww.
So close. I was going to give him a prize, but
too late.
too many points. Sorry.
Too many points. So
sorry about it.
So good job, Andrew. But how far can you calculate that real quick, Robert? Behind Kevin, or Kevin is
you're saying how far behind Andrew is Kevin?
A few points.
Yeah, so 49 points.
49 points. And that could change in one event.
That's it.
So
That's all it needs.
Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, because our winner this week won by 136 points. It's pretty good.
So Andrew, we'll see how long your dominance hangs on. What's the last event of the year?
There's a few left. Didn't we count last week 8 or 9 or something like that?
Is it?
Let's look. Picks. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got, it looks like 11 events left. We've got the Toonie, then the Great Lakes Open, Kona Piste, Idlewild Music City Open, Discraft, Ledgestone, MVP Open, and then Worlds, then Delaware, and then the Hall of Fame Classic, which is the NT finale.
So we're getting close. Dynamic Discs Heather Gray Ranger Bag will be part of the grand prize for the winner. And we'll have something for second and third, but it won't be a Ranger Bag.
It will not.
That's only going for the first place person. So real quick before we end this on the audio, Danny is having a fit sending all kinds of texts here. Let's see. He did some research on.
That's exactly what I was thinking on the Waco thing.
The mandatory is PDJ rule 804.02D. The nearest mandatory and this is back reference to the Mando question that we had. The nearest mandatory whose mandatory line is crossed by the line between the lie and the target is considered to be the target of all rules related to marking the lie, stance, obstacles, and relief, with one exception, 806.01 putting area.
Okay.
So if the usual line of play to the basket crosses the wrong side of a Mando, the line of play is to the Mando. But if the usual line of play can go straight to the basket on the correct side of the Mando, that is the line of play.
Right.
And he referenced back to Jeremy Colling where he messed up at Waco.
Okay. So
Danny does the mic drop.
Okay. So I guess that's what I was trying to say, but I said it poorly. I don't know. That makes sense. And I'm glad that you can spell it out that way. But yeah, if you can see the basket or your line of play is to the basket, even if you're on the correct side of the Mando, your line of play is to the basket.
Right, but you said it this way. He said it that way. I love that commercial.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's like comparing me. Oh,
what that one?
Anyway, so good thing we got that clarified. All right, guys, that's all the time we have. Thank you for tuning in, and keep those questions coming in. We will be here next week.
I will not be here next week, but go on.
Robert will be here next week.
I'll be in doing a design
in
Illinois.
So me and Robert will be here next week, and then after that, it's going to be kind of hit and miss because we're going to be
Europe.
We're going to be on the other side.
Let's record one on the plane.
Oh, that'll be good.
I didn't say on the wing.
We are flying at 31,000 feet.
But we're going to have some fun. I'm going to take my equipment out to the Europe trip that we do and have some fun out there.
2 weeks.
It's going to be a blast. It's going to be fun.
We're going to hate each other by the end of this trip.
Probably. Probably.
I already don't like Bobby.
It's going to be fun.
That's not true.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.